You are listening to the Midnight Movie Snack Podcast with Chris and Garrett. Greetings, Starfighter. You have been recruited by the Star League to defend the frontier against Zur and the Ko-Dan Armada. Hi, everyone. It's Chris, and welcome to the Midnight Movie Snack Podcast. In this episode, Garrett and I revisit one of our sci-fi favorites from the 1980s. It's The Last Starfighter, directed by Nick Castle, featuring a terrific cast that includes Lance Guest, Catherine Mary Stewart, the late great Robert Preston, and the equally late great Dan Hurley. This was a fun episode, folks. I'm not going to lie. I had such a great time watching this with Garrett. It was fun reminiscing about this movie and about when we saw it in the 80s. For me, I saw it on HBO on a constant loop, it seems. Like during the summer that they were playing this on HBO, it seemed like it was on every day, and I pretty much watched it every day it came on. This is a huge top 10 favorite of mine, and I'm really excited to be bringing this episode to you. Before we jump in to the commentary, I wanted to mention that the Midnight Movie Snack Podcast now has merchandise. If you head over to the TeePublic website, that's TeePublic.com, you can find Midnight Movie Snack Podcast merchandise, including t-shirts, magnets, stickers, and a whole lot more. So check that out. We certainly appreciate your support. All the sales that we make off the merchandise helps support the podcast. And this is something that we love to do, and we want to keep doing, and we want to keep bringing you more of episodes like this one. Earlier this week, Garrett and I sat down to plan out the rest of the year with the episodes that we have already recorded and episodes that we want to record. And I have to say, I'm really excited. I think we've got some really good stuff. I think we've got some stuff you're really going to enjoy if you've enjoyed what we've done so far. So, without further delay, let's hop into our spaceship and blast off for The Last Starfighter. So last time I didn't have snacks. I've got snacks this time. I got these Quest protein chips. It's like taco. They're actually really good. They taste like a Taco Bell taco. And this is not product placement, by the way, but they're not bad.
Well, but we're open to product placement. So Quest.
That's right. So Quest, if you're interested in sponsoring us, I do love the loaded taco. And I
don't have much candy tonight, but I do have a couple of York peppermint patties. So
can't go wrong with York peppermint patty.
I will be glad to plug them as well.
And I'll also plug Chick-fil-A. I still have my large drink from dinner this evening and still lots of ice in it. So I'm going to be
God's chicken.
I have to mute myself while I'm eating because these chips are so loud when you crunch them. Okay, so we're watching The Last Starfighter, which it's certainly one of my favorite sci-fi films from the 80s. It's a lot of fun. I know we've talked about this in the past, like whatever summer it was that HBO had this movie, they showed it nonstop. So I think in my teenage years, I must have seen this movie like a dozen times easily.
I'm with you. Yeah.
And it's such a fun movie. And this is one when we first started talking about doing this, where I was like, we have to do The Last Starfighter. And I even broke down and bought the Blu-ray for it because I'm just like, but a little fun fact. So this past weekend, my father-in-law came over to the house to hang out with us. And he didn't know about the podcast. So it came up in the conversation and I said,
by the way, just kidding.
wearing my t-shirt, which yours is on the way. So, but looking forward to it. I don't even think I mentioned, I think Lauren or one of the boys said something. And I said, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, I've got Garrett and I are doing this podcast and, we've been watching movies from the 80s and 90s. And I said, and we're going to be doing The Last Starfighter. the episode for this week, it's going to be the Last Starfighter. And man, he perked up. He's like, I love the Last Starfighter. He's like, that's one of the best sci-fi movies from the 80s. And so after this episode, I think he's coming back over to the house sometime to watch it with the boys, because the boys have not seen it. I've not shown it to them yet.
Oh,
so we're going to watch it as a family. So I get to see this movie a lot of times, not as many
you get
times,
to see it very,
as with HBO, but I'm going to get to see it a lot. Is there anything we want to talk about before we kick off?
I mean, I think what we mentioned, we talked about before, about that it's a, this is one of the earlier uses of CGI.
Yeah.
And I think Tron, I think Tron's the other one.
Tron was the first, I think.
Tron's the first, maybe this is the second.
Yeah.
And I remember as a kid, like going, it was pretty cool. I mean, even though you could tell, it wasn't, I think Star Wars was more realistic than, than this, but it was like, but now that we're older, I think we'll see. And if you're watching this, I think you'll, like some people might look at it as like going, like our kids will probably watch this and go, are you kidding me? Really? You guys are excited about this? I mean, about the effects aspect, but I think they'll appreciate, like the movie holds up, I think, well. The other parts of the movie hold up really well.
Yeah.
I think the special effects, but for us, we can still appreciate the fact of seeing about where they've come in the realm of CGI effects and how good they are now. I mean, it's even go back to like the first Hulk movie, about what the Hulk looked like and now, and what they can do with the Hulk now. I mean, that's a short amount of time. And so just think about what this compared to what we see now. It's like,
oh yeah, you're absolutely right. And yeah, watching it now, I mean, obviously it's like it doesn't hold up, but I think when you look at it in the perspective of what was out there at the time, and this was really innovative, that I think it's kind of like, I would almost equate it to like, when movies first came out, the old black and white silent, like you try, and then you look at like 50 years later when you have color and it's like, going back, like, that's crude, and it's, but it's like you appreciate that, like, but it was the beginning of something that led to what we have today. And so it's definitely, and the thing about it is, I feel like the Last Starfighter, it doesn't get love when it comes to like, it was one of the first movies to use CGI, like
Breaking Edge, or
right. It's pretty, just looking at it from a historical perspective, a film history perspective, I mean, it's pretty remarkable. And, hats off to the director, Nick Castle.
Yes.
The original Michael Myers.
Make sure you said that. Yep.
Exactly. Hats off to him for, just being hip and game to that kind of idea of like, let's do something different here.
And just how close they were they were really close to going back to a model.
Oh yeah.
Model reference about.
This easily could have been a model type movie. Yeah. But, I think with some of the things in the story, which we'll see as we watch, I think about like the big climactic space battle. I'm trying to like picture like what would that have looked like with the model. It might have, I don't know. It's in a way, I think that scene and what happens in it, that was made for CGI, because it's pretty smooth when what's going on, happens. But yeah, so that's a great thing to point out with the CGI, and of course this is a great cast, and the principals, all the main actors, they're terrific. But one of the things, and we've talked about this before as well, that we like about this movie is that the supporting cast is really good too. Like the people who live in the trailer park. I mean, you really get this sense of like this community, these people who all live, neighbors and their friends, like the guy who runs the place, the handyman. I mean, just really, really great characters in this movie. And in fact, that's more than the special effects and the fact that it's sci-fi. And I love that. I always find myself thinking about the characters in this movie, just like, wow, it's just so different from other sci-fi movies where anybody who isn't the main character, they're kind of like two-dimensional. There's not a lot to them. They're just kind of there to take up space. But I felt like with these characters, they were funny, they were interesting, and I think that's part of what gives it the charm that it has. Yeah.
Yep. There we go.
Yeah.
I think what you just said is like it reminds me of it reminds me of Gremlins, and it reminds me of Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Both movies had a little bit of that whole like it, and it kind of accompanied some of the town into the to the story. Like like you met a lot of different characters at the beginning. Like I remember like Gremlins, like you meet the sheriff, you meet the guy who was in Back to the Future 3, but he was always walking around with a pipe in his hand.
Yeah.
You meet the person at the bank. You meet the guy like the next door neighbor. I mean, there's all these people in town who you encounter, and they end up having some little impact on the story. And I think that's kind of how this movie and Back to the Future the same way. I mean, you meet a different bunch of people.
I think it helps ground it in reality. Like it gives it more of a realistic, almost believable. I think when you see movies like sci-fi movies or horror movies or whatever, when the supporting characters aren't that well developed, everything just feels very flat. But when you start adding this kind of character quality to it, I think it's part of what makes it memorable. And I mean, like here we are 35 years after a lot of these movies came out. And, it's largely when you're talking about them, you wind up talking about the characters, that being a big part of it.
Right.
So yeah, I'm really excited about watching this again. And I guess, as we're talking about it, we had also mentioned that apparently there's some talk about a sequel or a reboot or something. We can talk about that. Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
I would love to see something.
Me too. I think it'll be great. I mean,
yeah.
And we talked before, like we'd love to see if it would, like I think we're past, no offense to Lance Guest and Mary Catherine, but I think we're past the fact of them being like the parents, maybe, or maybe older parents. I don't know, but it's like, but I mean, they both look great, though. I mean, so
well, part of me thinks this, and I think it was alluded to in that story that I read about the sequel, that Lance would almost be like the Centauri character, like that he was still out in space fighting, against Zur and the Armada and all that, but that he would be more of like an old war hero who's now trying to recruit a whole new crop of starfighters, which I think could work. I mean, the last time I saw an interview with him from a couple of years ago, I mean, he is older, and so is Catherine Mary, and but I think part of me is like, I feel like sometimes when they do remakes and they bring in some of the original cast, it's like a glorified cameo. And I always feel like sometimes it's kind of sad just to trot them out for like a quick snippet and then they're gone. Like, I would hope that a sequel would actually give them maybe, not saying make them the main characters, but just to have them in some sort of supporting, role, like just like the characters in the trailer park in the first one. I mean, there's some older folks there that are memorable, and it's like, it would be fun to see these, and I gotta say, I saw a video of Catherine Mary from like 2 years ago.
Oh, she still looks fantastic. I mean,
she looks fantastic. Just and I know that we watched Weekend at Bernie's not too long ago, and she's also in that movie. And as we'll talk about we've already recorded it, but folks, when they listen to it, I knew somebody who worked with her on that film on Weekend at Bernie's, and she had nothing but great things to say about her, and just said she's just as sweet as you would hope she would be. I remember her saying that. So, I'd love to see her on the big screen again, and Lance too, in some capacity, kind of handing the baton to the new generation of starfighters. So
kind of the Cobra Kai, but on the big screen. It's
exactly.
Like
exactly. That's a perfect analogy.
They have a part of the movie,
Yeah.
but they're also like, you know, maybe like you said, maybe they pass it on. Maybe they pass on another to a new generation of.
Yeah.
I mean, like this movie could have been a sequel. I mean, it really could have been.
Totally could have been.
And I'm surprised they didn't do it because it's
I know that is something that has always, I've always wondered that, because so Universal put this movie out, and you know, this was in the mid 80s, and there was a phase where I felt like Universal, especially like in the 90s when direct to DVD or direct to video was a big thing. Universal was doing a lot of that stuff. They were cranking out a ton of stuff, and they were cranking out sequels for properties that I would say weren't as good or as successful as The Last Starfighter. And to me, it just seemed like The Last Starfighter, just there's a whole world of movies you could have done.
It made almost double its money. I mean, it didn't.
Yeah.
It didn't kill it. I mean, it only made $28 million in North America. But it's like, but it did. But like we talked about, it was in the age with a lot of movies where it hit teenagers.
Oh yeah.
It's at home, like who maybe it didn't get to see it at the theater, but got to see it multiple times.
Oh yeah.
On HBO. And of course, that was a whole new, or on cable in general. That's a whole thing that I think that, I mean, like that's what makes, you know, like 16 Candles more popular than, even though like Breaking beat it at the box office, but you know, 16 Candles is probably the more memorable, even though Breaking's got a piece of history there for sure. I'm not downgrading it. I'm just saying, but 16 Candles, just because of HBO and being able to get on cable, it's just like those movies, Breakfast Club, all those things, just like it won over audiences, you know, because they got to see it again and again and again, and kids wanted to see it again and again and again. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, I think, you know, for folks that grew up in that decade, us, you know, I mean, we remember this film with a lot of fondness and a lot of great nostalgic memories, and we're not the only ones. I mean, I was talking with a couple of folks, like, you know, I mentioned my father-in-law. You know, he was in his late 20s or mid 20s when this came out, and late 20s, and I mean, he loved it. And I think whenever you talk about this movie to people who grew up during that time and saw it, it's always like, oh yeah, I love that movie. You know, rarely do I see anybody go, oh, that movie was horrible. You know, but it wasn't well received. I mean, it made its money back. I mean, it almost, you know, doubled on the box office when you consider both domestic and foreign. But the impression that I get from what I read about this online is that I don't think that the studio and also Atari was involved, because they were developing a game based on the movie. They just didn't believe in it. You know, like apparently, you know, the game was supposed to go out. It was going to be on the consoles at the time, or it was going to be an arcade. And apparently Atari representatives saw like the film in post-production, and they were like, pull the plug on the game. This movie's not going to do well. And it's like, it's a typical case of like, I don't think Hollywood rarely has their finger on the pulse of the audience. You know, I think this was at the right time. It was, you know, after Star Wars trilogy stuff. It was right after Return of the Jedi. You know, people still had an appetite for sci-fi action, or space opera type films like, you know, Star Wars. You know, and I think that's part of the reason why it manages to kind of hold on as a kind of a cult classic of sorts. So, all right, well, let's without further delay, let's go ahead and jump into this. So let me get into this Movies Anywhere app again. And it looks like, let's see here. And another product placement for Movies Anywhere. I really love this app. I've got a lot of the digital movies that I've got. It's telling me that the movie will begin shortly. But
okay, what's got me is on my side it says I'm the host. I don't know what.
Oh, it does say you're the host. It does. It must have switched. When my phone went idle, I think it switched.
Okay, well, I will hit play then. Okay. It says for me to play a movie.
Sure.
So I'll play it. So here we go.
Awesome.
your people are listening in. And it says start the movie. I'm going to hit play movie again.
And away we go. You know,
the old Universal.
Nothing makes me more nostalgic than that old Universal logo. I look at it, I have such warm feelings about Universal movies from that period. And a good old Lorimar.
Yep.
Bringing you this movie and primetime soap operas in the 80s.
It's right, prompt. And I do like the theme for the music for this.
Oh yeah, great score. I forget who it was that composed the music, but yeah, it definitely has like a John Williams Star Wars kind of vibe to it. It wasn't trying to copy it. It's just this, you know. Yeah, music was by Craig Safin or Safin. Dan Hurley.
Catherine Mary, yep.
Yep, good old Catherine Mary. Barbara Bosson, that's I think that's the actress that plays Alex's mom. And then Robert Preston, the great Robert Preston.
Yeah, I think we talked about this earlier, but this is this is his last major movie. I
believe so. He did a couple of TV movies, cable movies, and they died. Yeah, this was part of his like second career. Like he was real big back in the day. He was like a classic Hollywood actor, you know, I think like in the 40s and 50s, and you know, was something of a leading man then. And then for whatever reason, his star kind of faded, but then he kind of came back in the 80s and he finished very strong, I think. And he's terrific in this movie.
And another thing about this, I think I read that Nick Castle was doing his best trying not to copy Star Wars and stuff like that. He was trying to make it different.
Yeah.
So these guys were really making it a point to try not to be a complete copycat.
This is
not what we're.
Yeah, and I think he does a good job of that just in these first few minutes of setting this up. You know, this trailer park. You know, normally when you think trailer park, you think like the dregs of humanity or like, you know, rednecks or trash or whatever.
That's not this.
This trailer park's got some really great people in it. Coombs County.
And not only did he starred as the original Michael Myers and directed, he also co-wrote Escape from New York, which is pretty cool. So he's not, I mean,
he has a actor,
writer, director. Yeah. He's done it. I mean, the guy's a true artist, man.
He definitely and of course he also directed the other movie in the 80s, The Boy Who Could Fly, which is another great film.
We should put
great
that in
family film. In fact, Fred Savage was in that one. It was one of Fred Savage's first movies, I think. Oh, she's going to miss her soaps. It's Cece. She can't miss her General Hospital.
Mr. Soaps.
There she is.
Yeah.
Sweet Catherine Mary. She's one of those leading ladies that honestly, the movies that she's in, I just smile when I see her. She's just so like breath of fresh air. You know, she really is kind of like the girl next door, or the girl you hoped lived next door, you know, growing up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she didn't live next door to me.
No, she didn't live next door to me. No, definitely didn't. You know, but Cece would have been like, that Catherine Mary's such a sweet girl.
She's such a sweet girl.
She is just the sweetest, Garrett. You should ask her out.
This little kid, Lewis, is a trip.
Oh, yeah, Lewis. Lewis is a little pervert.
He is a little.
Nope. I forgot that. That little old lady there, she's a great character actress.
She is.
I'm going to attempt to eat one of these protein chips. Hopefully,
I think she was. I think we remember. Look, she was on like on a episode of Star Trek, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that she's.
There's Robert Preston's voice for the first time.
Yeah,
Ko-Dan Armada.
Now you can find this game. Supposedly, somebody did it and put it online. You can play it for free.
Yeah, it's a freeware version of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
My 12-year-old Robson, he and I were going to try and download it. I have to say, whoever designed the look of the game did a pretty good job of like it very plausible the way it looks. Like I could see this as an actual arcade game. And I know it was designed, they were going to do one, but just everything, the cabinet, the controls.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I totally. It's a shame that it didn't ever get put out because it would have been awesome.
Uh-oh.
What you doing, Alex? Got to check the mail, man.
Come on, Clark.
It does. He does. He could be. It's a Smallville. He could 80s version of Smallville.
Oh yeah.
He could have played. Definitely could have played Clark Kent.
If you think about the first Superman movie, the actor that played young Clark Kent, he looks a lot like Lance Guest. They have
and Lance Guest would have been 10 times better. No offense to that guy, but he would have been.
Yeah, Lance. Yeah, I could totally see Lance playing a young Clark Kent. He totally could have.
Yeah. It is really like the 80s version of Clark Kent. She definitely play Lana. And she definitely could play Lana. Yeah.
Alex, I gotta go tell Mel.
And she's got the red T-shirt with the blue thing on top. It's like the red blue blur or whatever it's called that they did on.
Catherine would have been a good. Catherine Mary would have been a good Lois Lane.
She would be. She could go either way, Lana or Lois. Mm-hmm. Somebody say.
Previously on Smallville.
I think just pause for a second.
It's all right. Mine did too.
Oh, look, and there's the rooster and this little thing on top of the barn thing.
Dreams of a faraway place.
What did they call it on? It was like Freak of the Week. What was the thing on Smallville they used to call it?
Freak of the Week.
Freak of the Week. Yeah. Yeah, you can hear the people, the trailers next door. Hey man, we played cards last night. And this is where he realized that he's from the planet Krypton.
Marlon Brando appears. My son, you are the last son of Krypton. Not Krypton, Krypton.
Krypton.
I think part of this movie, what I like about it also is that, the age that we were, 13, 14, you're approaching adulthood, that kind of like, dreaming of like, I want to get out of this situation.
Go places.
I want to
do things.
Yeah. It's like wish fulfillment, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. Yeah, I think I would have played the mess out of this if it was in arcades, especially after this movie.
And I told I told you Future Man.
That's right. I still need to watch that.
Future Man, the first season does where the whole premise of this, where some people from the future come and face off a video game. How well this guy played a video game and take them and he's
totally playing off the Last Starfighter.
Right. It's definitely a play off that.
This actor that plays the manager, he's really good in this movie. I remember I looked his name up at one point, but I've seen him in other stuff. He's great.
He is great. This is, and I think we mentioned this, but most movies probably would have cut this scene. But I think it.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They would have cut this stuff, and I feel like it just adds so much of its heart. Just these things. I think his name is Vernon Washington.
That's correct.
And sadly, he passed away in 1988. He was 64.
He just died a few years after his movie came out.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah,
he was a really great addition to this cast. Great actor.
He was in Roots, the Next Generation, the miniseries.
Oh yeah.
He was actually in Friday the 13th, A New Beginning.
That's where I've seen him. Yep.
Yeah, that's probably where artists. He knows, man. That could be. I don't know. Well, no, that came after The Last Starfighter. So that's pretty cool, though, that you got Nick Castle and then you got a feature Friday the 13th actor.
That's Friday the 13th. That's where I remember. And then I remember him on The Jeffersons. He played Leroy. I remember that's where I remember him most, because I love me some Jeffersons. That's for sure. Love that show. They're so cute together. They have such good chemistry, I think.
They do have good chemistry.
It's kind of like, another actor he reminds me of in a way is a young Tom Hanks.
I could see that.
Yeah, kind of. But I really would have loved to have seen Lance and Catherine Mary do more movies together. I think they're good together. This too, I love this. Everybody's like all excited. He's going to break the record on this game.
Hey, everybody. Record?
Hold my beer.
Exactly.
Look at them. They're all coming at me.
Granny's coming. Granny's coming. Come on now.
Bust that record wide open.
Everybody get back. Don't crowd them.
Good boy.
And yes. My congratulatory kiss.
I did that when I beat Donkey Kong.
I know. He's like, no one. When I beat Pac-Man, no one ever came.
I didn't have a parade.
Hey, everybody! Garrett's about ready to beat Pac-Man.
Garrett's going to break the record.
Break the record.
I love this sign.
Yeah. Oh, now you talk. Now there are a few things, and I love to get some stuff like collectibles and whatever. But that's one piece right there. I would love to. I don't know where I would put it outside of the house, but it would be awesome.
Yeah.
Have someplace the backyard or something to have it.
Wow. Lou's like, I like to watch.
I know he says something like later he'll go gross or something. And I'm like, what do you mean gross, little perv? You're looking at
got the
Playboys.
Yeah.
And then they're having this whole Lois or Lana and Clark argument.
Yeah.
He's got to leave for the big city of Metropolis and leave Smallville.
Like, Alex, I want to leave Smallville.
You're scared to leave Smallville, Lana. I know you. Look, I'm tired of these plaid shirts. I want to wear a suit and glasses and be a big time reporter. Diarrhea.
Oh, Mom.
And Mom looks like she's disgusted too. She's like, she just doesn't want her baby to end up,
Yeah, see, I don't know. I think 80s moms would be like, Alex, I think you need to get inside.
Yeah.
I don't want you getting any girls in this trailer park pregnant.
Yeah. They just don't want them to end up like, have a better life than what they had. That's all. Yeah. But like we talked about, every mom probably loves that girl. I mean, I broke the Starfighter record.
It's kind of a big deal. My house as a 14-year-old, tell them, hey, Mom, I broke the Donkey Kong record.
It's kind of a big deal.
I knew that would happen one day. I'm so proud of my boy. I'm going to call your grandparents.
I mean, okay, I had, and I wish I could find it, but I had that little miniature, like, I don't know, 12-inch tall Pac-Man, little whatever. You know what I'm talking about? It's Coleco or something, I think.
Yep.
Brand made them or whatever. And I finally, I play that thing again and again, and because I love video games anyway. Mm-hmm. And I had it at home, and I ran through batteries like crazy. I told them C batteries, by the way. But even bought rechargeable ones. That's a whole nother story for another time. But when I made that thing through, it was, I felt like that. Now, no one, like we talked about, no one was there to go, you broke the record. It's like, but I think it hit a certain, like 100,000 or something. And then it just started back over again or something.
Yeah.
But I was like, when I finally did it, I was like, yes.
Mm-hmm.
6502 Whit Road. This is where it began, Mom, right here. This is where they're going to say one day. I'm still waiting for that day. But.
Yeah. Thinking about this, like in this talk about a possible remake or reboot, like with the advances in video games and, like with VR and stuff like that, they could do some really cool stuff to kind of, if they were doing a remake.
Yeah. And that's kind of like, I think
Alex broke the machine.
You could kind of steal from
Alex broke the machine.
You could sample from like Ready Player One. They use that concept, and I think that's something that it's out there. I mean,
yep. Well, it's one of them new Teslas.
Yep. I think it's my friend Nick who brought this to my attention, but I think I saw it, but I totally forgot about it. But that this car you could see this car in Back to the Future 2.
Really?
In the future. and you see it. You could see it on the main in the town square.
Yeah,
you see it over where Marty would have in 1955 would have went back to the future.
Talk about an Easter egg.
It's on that same part of the street.
Yeah,
it's like I think it's facing the other way, like facing towards you, facing towards.
Makes sense. I mean, they both were just put out by Universal, so they probably had it sitting on the lot somewhere. And
so
nice little Easter egg.
Yeah, and it's. I mean, he sent me a picture that you can see on Twitter, and maybe if when we put this on YouTube, I'll send you the link and you can put it in the description. So if anybody wants to see it, we'll add it in the description box.
Yeah,
I'll try to make sure I send that to you so you can.
Yeah. So, Preston was best known for his role in The Music Man. And basically, he said that he was just playing the same character in this movie. And it's funny because the outfit he wore in The Music Man's not all that different from what he wears.
Right. Very close. What'd you call him, Fleeceback, man?
So Preston died in 1987, so he was only a few years after this. I think he did one or two other TV movies after this. I know one of them was on HBO. It was him and it was a romantic comedy with Mary Tyler Moore that was actually really good. But he had the same wife. He was married in 1940. Her name was Catherine Craig. I remember reading something about it. Like he was a very private person, but I had remembered reading somewhere that he had a really strong marriage, like he and his wife.
Well, it must be, and that's so. This tunnel that they're going through, the entrance and the exit, they're filmed on the same side.
Oh yeah,
and
there's some CGI for you.
So when it's the tunnel they go in is the same tunnel they come out, the same side, same part of the tunnel.
It was used in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which was another Robert Zemeckis film. But Preston died of lung cancer. He was 68. It's a real shame.
Oh, yeah, this is wild.
Yeah. Whoops.
Yeah. Nah!
Fixing my face. Tell you this, those Teslas are impressive, I gotta say. Elon Musk knew what he was doing.
He knows exactly what he's doing. He was ahead of his time.
Who knows? Maybe this inspired him. He watched this as a young man and said, "One day I will design a car just like that."
Visit the Back to the Future.
And my son has asked me, this is like Back to the Future. I was like, it's close, but it's, it's different. Yeah. Yeah, now here's some CGI that does not look,
Yeah, it's a little rough in some places, and this is definitely
right. But but again, we talked about it. It's
yeah,
it's groundbreaking for its time, and it needs to be applauded in that regard because we have now, because of stuff like this, oh, these these aliens.
yeah.
What'd you say before? They look like
Alien pattern baldness.
no, but what else about which characters that look like? What movie did you say, like the Oompa Loompas or something?
Yeah, some of them
That's
like albino Oompa Loompas.
yeah. I mean, it's like
I've got closed captioning on. I love they transcribe the alien language. It's like spelled out phonetically.
Kite una something.
Yeah. Prepare for sterilization.
Like what? Huh? Got an escalator. I mean, see, this is where the airplane terminals got the idea about just get on it and just takes you down. This was groundbreaking stuff, not a CGI, but also for airplane, airport movement. He's quick. Yeah, you're at gate C3, okay? Okay, he's got next. There he is. There's a little. Where the heck is June? Yolanda, baby.
So what are you doing?
Moaning. It's like, honey, if you saw what's under that blanket, you would not. You wouldn't be asking. But like that wood paneling man in there, that reminds me so much of like
that's
the late 70s, early 80s.
Yep.
And there's Beta Alex, the foreman of them. Now I do remember reading that they filmed this movie in just about like a month's time. It's not a long shoot at all, and they filmed mostly at night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the movie I worked on back in the 90s, it was a 6-week shoot, and it was rushed. So I can't even imagine 4 weeks. That must have been
I don't
just breakneck speed.
Okay, my thing kind of paused again a little bit. It's like I don't know if my connection was a little.
Oh yeah, mine's doing the same thing. I don't know if it's just a.
No, mine's even. Is it still playing? Okay, yeah, there it goes back. Okay. The spaceship is moving to the left. Make sure for people who are close up on Alex, in case.
Okay. You're
Just
right.
making sure something.
I'm surprised none of these aliens attempt to come over. They're all just like.
That's like
nobody's got like the
part. Yeah.
Like the huge comb over. Oh.
This is the Hunger Games. This idea where that came from.
Oy vey. I didn't know. This is a Yiddish thing. Yeah, I can hear your audio.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. It's just it's off from mine. So I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed in movies anywhere.
Well, what could this be?
You didn't keep a
sync. Well, it's spring break. It's spring break, and normally my boys would be asleep by now, but they are playing video games and stuff like that. So that could be messing with the internet speed. Even though we have really good internet, but when the Last Starfighter is being played upstairs in real life, aka you're actually declining the opportunity, the honor of becoming a star. Oh, it's pausing again. Dang it.
I got a glitch on my side too. Are you yellow-bellied?
Are you a coward?
It's a laser light show.
Yeah. Special fan that blows my hair, fluffs it up.
Big head. It's Peter Weller, RoboCop.
May the odds be in your favor. Somebody save.
And my head is bigger than yours.
Oh my gosh, it reminds me of
if you're nasty.
Reminds me of that Will Ferrell
Mugatu.
No, well, it does that too, but it reminds me of the animated film where he's a superhero. He's like
Megamind.
Megamind. Yes. My boys love some Megamind.
Yeah. Oh, snap. It's like the alien Colonel Sanders. Well, I guess he won't be getting a fill-up bucket.
Nope.
Comes with a biscuit and gravy and a laser through the head. Ugh.
Well, the odds were not in his favor. And if we had a remake, that needs to be Will Ferrell with that. Yeah. The hovering head
has spoken. When the green moon has eclipsed, it will be Taco Tuesday. Some decent CGI right there.
The frontier that our ancestors developed years ago. Yeah, if you're watching, like on that Blu-ray, they got some makings of this movie. There's some cool stuff about how they did how excited they would get about the technology when they were developing certain aspects. It's pretty neat to watch. So I recommend watching the Blu-ray.
Once I get my we got some new furniture coming for our bedroom. We got a media center that's going to go in our bedroom, and so once we get that set up, I'm going to put my Blu-ray together. And that was one of the first ones I was going to watch. Although actually, I'm probably going to watch it downstairs when my father-in-law comes over.
I don't know if it plays on Movies Anywhere, but maybe on Vudu, it's like we can actually watch the features, the Blu-ray features actually on the digital copy.
Check that, yeah, because I did get the digital copy through Vudu. So I mean, look at this. It slices and dices.
Yep. QVC special. You ordered, call quickly. Call in the next 30 minutes. You get your order in.
There's all this like discussion between the bad guys, and honestly, it's like none of it really matters. It's like I think they were trying to like do something kind of Star Warsy here, with the Empire or whatever. And it's like, right. Honestly, when I was a kid, and even now, I'm like, yeah, you're just talking. Let's just get to the space fights.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's just funny because they're like talking about, your Emperor gave me command of your Armada. It's like, whatever. It's just shut up. You're the bad guy.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like, there's not, I guess it's supposed to set up the fact that, like what you're fighting against, give it a face to the enemy. But you're right. It does like,
I mean, if
you're not Darth Vader, okay? Right. You're not putting a scare in anybody.
If it had been more successful in the box office and they did a sequel, then I could have seen them trying to flesh things out a little bit. But
I mean, this is more like trying to save Christmas or something. I mean,
pew 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 pew.
Yeah, that's a pew pew pew.
Nice purse.
This is the early edition of the fanny pack. This is where it all began.
Space fanny pack.
Space fanny pack is right. Again, cutting edge, people. Cutting edge. CGI, the fanny pack. This is.
Incoming.
My God, no. It's about ready to hit. Did you see red? Escaped. Yeah, Mark Kent's waiting for me. I gotta go. And he's got the height too. He's about 6'3", and that's about how tall. Like Tom Wellens is about 6'3". Henry Cavill, how you say his name? Cavill, whatever. He's about that tall. It's a pedometer. That's all it is, man. Just
I was gonna say.
Count your steps while you're going home.
It's okay. It's my Casio watch. I took the band off of it.
This is a great scene right here.
Truth.
If that's what you think, that's all you'll ever be.
Yep.
Starlight, star bright. I was paused again.
Yeah, pause for me too. Yeah,
okay.
Back up.
He's like, strange sex. What did I miss? How long was I in space?
Paused on me again.
Yeah, me too for a second. So when they test, I read that when they test, did a test audience thing for this movie, that the beta Alex, the audience really liked the scenes with the beta Alex, so they went back and filmed some more scenes with beta Alex and added it in. And I think we'll see later, I don't think it's in this scene, but we'll see later that he had already left the project and had cut his hair.
Oh.
So when they come back, he has to wear a horrible wig. And if you think the Pretty in Pink wig, the Blaine wig is bad, you ain't seen nothing yet until we see later.
Oh yeah,
it's horrible. But that's where it came from. It's like they really tested well with the audiences, and so they went back and added some more scenes with Beta Alex. And this little store that's out, this little area here, this is still all in existence. You can
really
California. It's so weird. It's like I was probably 15 minutes away from this thing quite a few times. I've been out there. It's not far from I got family who live in California City, close to Palmdale, Lancaster, and it's in between Palmdale and LA basically, but there's like a Canyon Road or something. I can look up the address. I can put it in the description as well. But it's still there. You can and you can stop in and go to the store, and it's blocked off where the video game thing was sitting, but you can see right where it was. It's still it's kind of cool though that it's still actually.
If I ever make it out there again, I have to go see if I can.
Yeah, I mean it really. I mean it's. I just couldn't believe that I've been that close to it. I never have. But now I think the trailer. I don't think it was ever really a trailer park. I think they brought those in and set it up for the shoot. So I don't think that. So there's no trailers there. But this whole building right here, this part here is kind of blocked off right there. But that propane tank is still there.
Really?
That open area, gravel area where people could pull up with the car, that's still the same exact way. You could look up on Google Map and see it. It's and the alien's still there. It's not.
Yeah.
But right there, the whole right that bit right there, what you're seeing, the ice machine, that's. There's some movies about like movie locations that some people probably like, it's like take it or leave it. But like a movie like this, if you really loved it, like that would be a really cool scene, a cool place to go visit. Just like going to Marty McFly's house or Daniel LaRusso's apartment or stuff like that. It's like those are iconic places to.
Well, how about that?
So obviously this Beta Alex still has decent hair. So
yeah,
this is obviously when the original recordings of the original filming.
Yep. Uh-oh.
Listen to Beta Alex. Alex.
Just a flesh wound.
That's right.
That's right. Just a scratch.
Oh,
CGI. Well,
and it's weird. It's like, why is in the spaceship they have it's like a police car where there's he has a knock on the glass to get his attention. Like,
oh, Grandpa dozed off again.
whoa.
Did that thing have an autopilot?
Exactly.
It's the worst Uber driver I've ever seen.
Not gonna give him a good rating. Get it.
Definitely not. No
How many,
tip for you either. I get tired of listening to you.
Kind of reminds me of Deadpool when he says he's dying. Is it Deadpool the second one? He's like he's dying. He's like, one more thing. He gives a speech, and it's like, oh. Wait, one more thing.
Let me put him in the eye and see if he's still alive.
Yeah. Don't worry. It's like Frosty. He'll be back one day.
Get your gear on. It's just a dream.
That may be part of the bad wig, Alex.
That is definitely a bad wig right there.
Yeah. So that's this is definitely a added scene.
So him hearing that moth reminds me of a story. There was a comedian by the name of Dana Gould. He tells the story about how a moth flew into his ear. And he said that he had to go to the ER to get it removed. But he said the thing was fluttering around in his ear canal. And he said it was so loud. So when he told that story, I immediately thought of this scene from this movie where he's sitting there hearing that. It turns out it's that moth. They are loud. He's got a bad wig too.
He put one on him as well. He cut his hair.
Everybody's got bad wigs.
Probably was. It's not his bedhead. He probably was.
Yeah, that kid played Lewis. He's actually now a school teacher in real life.
Yeah, if he could, that would be pretty interesting. He got kids find out that you used to be a child actor, where movies are going to be like going, "You were a pervert, Mr. So and so. That's how you."
So even though he's covered in latex, Dan Hurley was another actor who he had a career years before, but he had a bit of a resurgence in the 80s. In addition to this movie, he was in RoboCop, and he was the villain in Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Which is actually Halloween 3 is another film that like gets a lot of bad press, but I actually like it. It's like it's so bad it's good. But he's a terrific villain in it.
So we have some Halloween. We got Halloween 1 with the director.
Yep.
Lance Guest is in Halloween 2.
That's right.
And he's in Halloween 3.
That's right.
Yeah. And and then that's how. I forgot that. That's a story about how Lance had an inside connection.
Oh yeah.
To the director whoever directed Halloween 2 talked to
Rick Rosenthal. Rick Rosenthal directed 2.
Talked talked to him and said that, and that's how there was a
he kind of plays Jamie Lee Curtis's kind of love interest. He's the ambulance driver.
And what's her name? Is it Carrie? Is it Catherine Mary? What's her? How you say her name?
Catherine Mary Stewart.
Catherine Mary. Okay. Yeah, she said there was a lot of. I saw an interview with her. She said there was a lot of good, bigger names out there at the time. Probably still bigger names, but who auditioned for these roles.
Really?
But she said that they really did have good chemistry, and they are still good friends. It's like she says they still talk, and of course they meet up on sometimes at Comic-Cons and different things.
Oh yeah, that's
stuff
cool.
like that.
That's
but
cool.
But they really do have a good relationship. I mean,
I hope that if this sequel / reboot gets off the ground, I mean, they have got to.
Yeah. And she said in one interview that listened to her on, she said that Lance had actually written a screenplay, a script for a sequel or a reboot or something, But I think there's been a couple of those have been written or put out.
The latest one is so the original screenwriter of this, Jonathan, is it Bethel or Buthel? I forget his name, and Gary Whitta, who Gary Whitta is a screenwriter. His credits include The Book of Eli, that was with Denzel Washington, and also he was one of the writers for Star Wars Rogue One. So he and the original screenwriter, the last I've heard, they're partnering on this latest version of the story.
Well, I hope it comes. Yeah.
I do too. This is such a great. It's a property that's just asking to be revisited. I mean, it's just there's so much potential there, I think. Use your feelings.
That's right. There's some moments that
with the Force.
If you just would have went to space camp, I mean, this cute little girl named Lee Thompson. If you just would have went to space camp with her.
So we were watching Back to the Future the other week, me and my youngest, me and Davis, and just watching Leah Thompson. I'm like, she is just beautiful in that movie. I mean, she's a beautiful lady still. But
yeah, she
Back
is.
to the Future, the first one, she's just like, especially the scenes where she's in the car with Michael J. Fox at the dance. Like,
She
is just stunning in that movie.
I think she looks. How much I liked her in Some Kind of Wonderful, which is another one is coming down the line. I think, and she's still pretty. She's so pretty, but it's like, I don't think that movie does her justice. I mean, her acting's great, but I don't think her look and just how pretty she really is. It's like, I mean, even All the Right Moves better.
I was going to mention that one. Yeah.
That, and I mean, of course, Back to the Future. It's like, she really is.
Did you ever see Howard the Duck?
I once.
Yeah.
Once.
She was the only reason why I stayed through it. I was ready to throw in the towel on it, but I kept watching it because of her.
Yeah, I mean, that was supposed to be another, vehicle for her to.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how certain movies like that will hurt some actors, but then other actors can do it, and it's not a big deal. They can escape the bad press and go on to something else.
Yep.
I know we talked about Burt Reynolds before. We'll have some movies with him, but I mean, he even told, I remember reading something that he said he told Sally Fields to, like, take it for the money, just do it. It's just sometimes you like, you need to work, you need to make money. And sometimes the script's not going to be great.
Yeah.
You can't always, and I think with him, like, there's some movies that they just do just to have fun, which obviously you can look at Cannonball Run and Smokey and the Bandit, which I think, not bad movies. It's just that he had so much fun doing those. I think he just enjoyed himself.
Yeah. Well, I think, a modern version of that to me is like Adam Sandler. I mean, he makes good movies from time to time, like, Uncut Gems. I think that was the name of it. The one that I think he got did he get an Oscar nomination? No, but he got a lot of critical acclaim for it. But then he does, those movies for Netflix and the ones where it's just purely, he admits, he's like, I wanted to go wherever they were shooting and make it a vacation. I'm just here to have fun. And he uses the same actors because for a lot of his stuff, because they're his friends and he loves spending time with them. So, and that's why I cut him a lot of slack, just like I did with Burt Reynolds. Because Burt Reynolds did all kinds of different movies, and a lot of them I loved. Smokey and the Bandit, Cannonball Run. But he also did some really good, more serious type stuff. And for me, it's like I'd watch anything he was in, because even if the movie wasn't great, I knew Burt was going to be good. But like, I love those movies that he just did for fun, because you can tell he was having fun.
Enjoy. And I think the audience picks up on that when you're not.
I just feel like Burt, I think it's going to, unfortunately, since he's gone, it's like he can't appreciate the fact that, but I think years from now, people look back, he's going to be remembered as like one of cinema's like legends. Like, he's going to be on par with John Wayne and, all these other classic heroes from the olden days. But I mean, Burt was he was the real deal.
Oh, he definitely.
Always entertaining. And
he should have, in Deliverance, should have got an Academy Award. That's multiple, in my opinion, but that's for another podcast.
Yeah. And we're missing all this stuff talking about Burt Reynolds.
Well, we're not missing a lot of people right now. It's like, this is some of the
movie. Burt Reynolds in The Last Starfighter. I'm trying to imagine that would have been of course, when I think of Burt Reynolds, all I can think of is Norm Macdonald as Burt Reynolds. So they're chewing that gum.
Yep.
There are some moments, and the cave doesn't look so great CGI, but there's some moments, that ship, it's like, that ship looks pretty good for early CGI. It's not bad.
Yeah.
Hey, look in the glove compartment. I got my Mr. Microphone in there.
Yeah. Yeah, this is bad. There's bad wig. Bad wig, Alex.
Oh yeah, bad wig alert.
Really bad. Whew. Yep.
Seriously, they're not even trying.
Andrew McCarthy's like, thank you.
Seriously, it's like he's got a helmet on his head.
I can't remember what project he did. I don't, I was like with Andrew McCarthy, he went and did that play. So,
right. Yeah, he went back and did that. He was doing that play on Broadway. He played a veteran or something.
But I don't know what. But obviously, he had to cut. He cut his hair, and so there's.
See if I can try to figure that out. Let's see. So he did. Well, so Last Starfighter was in 84. In 85, he was in a movie called Waiting to Act. And then in the next movie he did was in 87, which was Jaws the Revenge. I'm really surprised. Like, he didn't do a whole lot of movies. I mean,
I'm shocked. Yeah.
Did a lot of TV. That's bad. White Floyd. Ugh. That is so disturbing on so many levels. He's like, Greg, you're kind of freaking me out with your family album.
Yeah, I just see that he cut his hair. I don't see about why he cut his hair. But
I was trying to see if maybe it was TV related. He did an after school special in 85. He did a TV movie called My Father, My Rival in 85. But actually, no, it wouldn't be 85. It would probably be 83.
yeah, it was
83 or
this would have been filmed in 83, I'm assuming.
So he did a TV film in 83 called Confessions of a Married Man. Movie-wise, he did another movie in 84, Just the Way You Are, with Christy McNichol.
And Nick Castle named the character Lewis Rogan after his son Lewis Castle. So it's a little piece of trivia. Pretty cool. And it made him a little perv, but you know. Oh, so it was John Carpenter who recommended Lance Guest to Nick Castle. Pretty cool. That's a pretty good recommendation.
Yeah.
He said he felt like he had every man qualities of a young James Stewart, Henry Fonda, or Gary Cooper that he wanted, and subsequently decided to cast him in the role. That's pretty good. And by saying that, that's I think that's the reason why you just got through saying it's shocking that he didn't do too many other things after this, like his.
Yeah. There's a photo here. I just looked up some photos of him, and there's a publicity photo of him and Catherine Mary, and honest to goodness, they are just like the most perfect looking couple.
Oh, I did read that. It was in an interview, and it's on YouTube. That's where I can find it. But she said that she didn't have any roles with Robert Preston, but she saw him at the studio for something on while this film was going on, but they didn't have any. And she said that she wanted to meet him so bad, and she said about how sweet and nice he was. He was just fantastic.
Yeah.
But let's get back to this scene right here where they're making out scene.
What in the world?
Don't bother Alex. You're my Julia, my Venus.
You're my density.
My what? Who are you?
My destiny.
George. George.
Oh boy. Oh. Ooga. Oh. They're both like, I just want to smack him so bad.
Zach's like, why don't we just kill him?
Yeah.
Let's rebel.
Yeah, let's just do him in and we'll.
Yeah, it's like. Looks like a version of Centipede right there for a second.
Did you ever see the movie that Catherine Mary was in, Night of the Comet? I think that was like the first movie that really, where she kind of hit it.
Sounds really familiar.
That's a good one. That's from, I forget what year that came out. But it was around this time.
Hey! One good thing about Nick Castle, the characters Alex and Maggie's original names in the film in the script was supposed to be Skip and Penny. So Nick Castle changed it because it was too cartoony. He said,
Yeah.
"Thank you, Nick Castle, for
Thanks, Nick Castle." So Night of the
Skip
Comet
Rogan."
It also came out in '84. It came out in November of '84.
Okay.
You wish. Yeah, for some reason I thought Night of the Comet came out before this movie, but it was actually the other way around. Last Starfighter came out first.
Okay, sorry, it was a 40-day filming shoot.
Okay, so
Yeah. But I mean, that's quick.
Powdered donuts, check.
Yes, please. That could be a midnight movie snack. Pause again for a second. So
yeah. do 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 do. This is the longest pause I've seen.
It is mine as well. Stolen from both of us.
I sent you a message. Chris wants to resume the movie.
I see. Yes,
play.
I see that.
So, folks listening to this, if you're watching along with us, we apologize.
Sorry.
Movies.
There's gonna be about a 30-second delay here. Just keep that in mind.
Pause on your movie, and hopefully we can reconcile this. But I had high hopes for Movies Anywhere. I think maybe next time if we use it, I'll try and host it from my end and see if that.
Yeah.
Because usually, I mean, I've actually got fiber internet out of here.
I know yeah.
I can tell a difference. Like everything, like we don't have hardly any lag with stuff, especially like my work related stuff goes pretty quickly. But yeah, wow, it's really hung up.
Yeah, it is. I don't know what like I said, it could have something to do with spring break.
You kids get off your computers.
Exactly. It's like you're messing up my Zoom.
Worst case scenario, maybe I can like do some editing magic of some kind. I'll put in like a little musical interlude of some kind.
It's like good, great. It is. Okay, I'm gonna say
it's like completely frozen on the back of the ship.
Unpause.
Oh, Movies Anywhere. There we go. Oh, yep.
There we go. Okay.
All right.
119. Okay, we're at 119:30. 33 seconds, 34 seconds.
Yeah, I think we're synced up.
Good. All right. That way everybody else pay attention to the time.
Not with my shiny pointy stick, cane, whatever. Roll. Schultz.
Schultz. Pew, 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 pew,
pew, pew, pew. Oh, shoot it.
Just got it. That does remind me a little bit of Luke Skywalker. Like, yes.
Don't get cocky, kid.
Right, don't get cocky, kid.
That's
my favorite. I won't say it on here because I don't, what the audience level hears, but are my favorite Peter Griffin.
I know exactly what you're.
Don't get fantasy, kid. That still makes you laugh.
I know there's a few things from the old days where it's like I think of that and was it Black to the Future? Super Marty Super McFly.
Yeah.
Marty McSuperfly.
Yeah.
Black to the Future.
This is Simply Red. This Red Fox.
Death Blossom. When I first saw this as a teenager, Death Blossom. I just remember there was, I don't know what it was. It was something similar to it, but like Death Blossom was like a reference to like a really bad fart or something.
Yeah, I know. It's like Death Blossom.
Unleash the Death Blossom. We just had a combo plate number 9.
Could be a Mexican food special.
Sir. The Ko-Dan Armada.
That'd have been nice. Have a Sean Connery action in
Yeah.
the last. Yeah, space battles aren't as interesting as like Star Wars or something like that. But
yeah, this is just a little too like because it's CGI. It's like with the models, like with Star Wars, there was a little wear and tear on them. They looked a little grungy. Things look too clean, too polished. It's just a little too slick looking.
Well, you don't have all the pollution up in space like you do.
But like I think from a like a computer graphics point of view, it's just like they don't have the right texture layers to make it look. Of course, to do that would have been like almost impossible with the computers back then. But yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Like doing this with a model, that particular thing with the ship, it's like probably would have been harder to do, I would think. But I have to say, like, there's some shots where the ship is like just kind of still, where it's like it's a really good ship design, like right there, like looks really good.
It does. I mean, tell the detail was put into it for sure. It's not for trying. It's not for lack of trying.
He like these guys. I remember when I was watched this movie, like they look like they're made out of beef jerky. They got like beef jerky faces. Ram boost. He's sitting there trying to put a ColecoVision together. It's like, dude,
I've drained these batteries out, man. I need some more batteries. I got to charge these up.
oh, my bad.
Inhuman groaning.
Yep.
That's what.
See, beef jerky face.
Yeah.
The Jack Links aliens.
Divert.
Die. Okay. So long.
Farewell, so long until we meet again.
We die, and so they did.
There's the music.
Yep. Oh, they're in Orlando. Try some of my chicken.
And where are you going? I'm going to Disney World.
We have to have a sequel. That's the bad wig.
Yeah.
And all the chicken and biscuits and gravy you want. I thought your hair was different.
I'll talk about hair now. We talk about bad wigs for Alex and even little Lewis in that scene, but Robert Preston's got some good hair, man.
Yeah, he did. For a 68 or 60, I guess at the time he was 65. He had a good head of hair on him.
Yeah, yes. I mean, it could be. I mean, and if his is a wig, well,
I don't think it was.
They should have went to his guy to fix the rest of the cast.
Preston. That's his real hair. Or I'll kill him.
No need to call Mrs. Rogan.
I was watching my soaps.
My stories. Watching my stories. Now her hair. I think her hair looks good right there.
Yeah. It's wind. Get a load of this wind.
I don't know where I read this. I don't remember. I just remember someone said about, maybe it was on Fast Rewind. I don't remember, but it said that the spaceship lands way too close to the building, that it was the burners and all that stuff would have destroyed that place.
It's the mobile park.
Yeah.
Now it's like, sorry guys. Well, those are cold fusion engines, so they don't burn.
Right. I guess that's what it is. Yep. If this had been done
the structural integrity of that roof, it probably would have caved in.
If this would have been a spoof on Family Guy, little Stewie would have been like going, yes. Land of works. Just destroy them all.
She's like, that is some impressive CGI for 1984.
Now, what's great acting is that ship's not there, so they're all just looking up at this and nothing. That sky going like, wow. Look at that.
Probably have a crane with like something hanging from it. Like, look at that. That's what you're supposed to be looking at. Yeah, the director's like, okay, Kathy, he's coming down on an elevator. You can see him, but you're not quite sure who it is yet. And then we cut to this.
We need a bunch of dry ice. No, that's a cool smoke machine they got going on.
Take me to your leader.
Earthling.
That's your real hair. Is it? Is it your real hair?
Go ahead and put your hands through it. Yeah, that's his real hair. That's that.
I love that.
He's got that gun. Oh.
This boy's been smoking. And knocked up my sister.
Yeah.
What?
Robot? What are you talking about?
Granny, get your shotgun out. Enchanted.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Yeah, we could put Sean Connery behind the mask. Not
Hey,
laugh.
got some of those Playboys?
Shh! Don't tell nobody. That wheezing laugh out it got.
He's a homicidal maniac. He killed so many aliens.
We'll be like Captain Marvel. I'll be gone for a little while, but I'll be back.
Yep. Oh, come on.
You know, we've heard about this guy named Thanos up there. I gotta go take care of him. They need me, and they need me up there. Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm joining their crew. If we didn't already unearth who Star-Lord's father was, we could have done something. Yeah.
The meter's running. I guess I'll just settle for one of those bald-headed aliens that look like albino Oompa Loompas.
Yeah. I'll send you an email, Granny.
What?
Yeah. Huh? You'll see. Wait till the 90s, Granny, and I'll send you AOL.
I'll send you a disc with AOL on it.
Yeah. Not the Prodigy. Don't. It's doesn't make it. I told you we have Prodigy at my house. I need to try out and see if my Prodigy account still works. TVPE 47B or I think I'm C. Yeah. My dad was 47A. My mom was I think my mom was 47B and I was 47C. That was my like
Good old Prodigy.
Yep, old Prodigy there. Throwing back.
I actually liked Prodigy better than AOL.
I think it's kind of one of those things where, you know, who did the better job of marketing? It's kind of like what the talk about like the Betamax.
Oh yeah.
Like the VHS won out, but the Betamax was the superior product.
Yeah.
but it didn't have the marketing behind it. It didn't get the film studios, whatever, they did a better job of.
Yeah. So much fun.
Yeah, I mean, looking back on this, it's like I think I enjoy. I think the on Earth scenes are better than the space scenes, but
I think so.
Yeah. But like I said, as a kid, I think we probably were more in tune to what was the whole movie, what was going on. But
yeah, I mean, for me, the big thing about this movie, the reason why I kept watching it when it came on HBO is I just love watching that space battle scene at the end where the ship's doing its spinning around thing, taking everything out.
Oh yeah, that was cool. I mean, I think that was
that was the highlight for me. But yeah, I think you're right. I think the emphasis and the characters was definitely with the Earthbound settings, but the space stuff up in space, I mean, it was a little thin, a little flimsy. But
where probably it was opposite, like with Star Wars, I think it was probably like I could care less about Luke's aunt and uncle.
I was going to the Tashi station to pick up some power converters.
Yeah, whatever. Whatever. It's like, because I'm getting off this planet. Y'all suck. But,
sorry, those stormtroopers torched you, but
anyway, I failed. It's already passed down the credits, but like Will Wheaton was supposed to have he's a friend of Lewis. Is supposed to have a little bit more in the, but his scenes got his I think his speaking scenes got cut. And
was he in that crowd scene?
Yeah, I think you could. I think I read that you could see him twice.
I'll have to go back.
He's got like a jersey thing on one time, and I think at the end he's wearing a coat or like a red coat or something.
Yeah.
I have to go back and look at that too because I was not paying attention.
Yeah,
looking for him.
This was a couple of years before he did Stand By Me, I think.
Yeah, they're a star car built by Gene Winfield Special Projects. Dude, he's still Gene Winfield. I think this is really cool. I think it's the same guy. My cousin stopped. He's got a shop out close to the same area where this whole movie was filmed. This is out in the closer to the Palmdale and Lancaster area, whatever. But my cousin stopped looking for a part for his truck, and the man goes, "Do you know where you are?" And my cousin is like 20, it's like 25 years old or so. He goes, "No." He goes. He told him, he says, "Well, I just got this truck and I'm looking for a part." And the guy told him, because like, I do custom cars. I've done stuff for movies and whatever. And he ended up showing him around his whole thing.
Wow.
And that's like really cool. I was like going, so his dad, which is my first cousin, shared it on Facebook. And I'm just like going, I wrote on there, I said, next time I'm there, I want Wade to take me to this guy's place so I can get a tour. So it was really cool. So like he didn't even expect, he didn't know, he thought it was a junkyard basically. getting apart.
Well, that was the movie. They had short credits, for a sci-fi movie with special effects.
If this was Falcon and the Winter Soldier, we would still have another.
It'd be 5 minutes of credits.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was, it's still a favorite. I love it. I mean, I love it. It's, it's got some flaws, but I love it still. It's, I do, every time I watch it, though, I just kind of think like, really would have been great if there had been a sequel, or, heck, even if they turned it into a TV series or something, I would have been.
Well, like we mentioned, like Cobra Kai earlier.
Yeah.
You could do a science fiction space version of.
Yeah, definitely.
It definitely, yeah. I would even, it'd be cool. I would love to see somebody go back, and I know it changed things up a little bit, but go back and, do the castle cut, the castle director's cut.
Yeah.
And redo and redo some of those space scenes, modernize, like the new CGI and see what it looks like.
Yeah, I think you're onto something there. That would be interesting to see what it would look like with a new coat of paint.
Yeah, I mean,
I do wonder though, like, I know you said Will Wheaton's scenes got cut, but how much footage is there that was shot that wound up not being used, and what exactly is all of it?
Right.
So yeah. Well, I enjoyed that. That was good. I was glad I was able to watch it again. And that was The Last Starfighter. I had fun recording that episode with Garrett, and I had fun editing the audio for the episode. It was fun just listening to our conversation. I hope you enjoyed the commentary. I hope it added to your movie-going experience watching The Last Starfighter again. Stay tuned for more episodes. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode. As always, check us out on Instagram at the Midnight Movie Snack Podcast. Be sure to follow us and follow our updates. And also you can visit Garrett's YouTube channel, All Things 80s with Garrett. He's got a lot of great videos out there about some of the movies that we've watched and some of the locations that were shot, as well as the music from some of these movies and the soundtracks. Also, as I mentioned at the outset of the episode, be sure to check out our TeePublic store at teepublic.com, where you can purchase t-shirts and stickers, magnets, and much more. And until next time, thank you so much for listening. We'll see you soon.